All right. Well, The Wrap just dropped an article about vertical micro dramas.
Okay.
They have reached $8 billion in business. Hollywood is finally paying attention. The addictive 90-second shorts have emerged as a serious business. The titles are provocative and extremely clickable. So, what about vertical micro dramas reaching such a big business kind of level? Is
There's a
that where
couple of
we're headed?
things. Well, we're already there, and there's a couple of things to this, though. Okay, so let's just talk about these vertical films, if you want to call them shorts, pieces of content, whatever. So one we had on Emma Toner. So if you guys have not checked out the episode with Emma, that came out, I believe, in May. Is that right, Nick?
I think so. I have to take a look, but
Yeah,
yeah, I
maybe
think that's about
early,
right.
maybe mid to late May. We had Emma Toner from Galatea on there. Shout out to you, Emma. Hope you're doing great. But
Yep.
she gave us the whole
Late
skinny
May,
on
early
how the whole
June.
business works, how they get the scripts, how they get the performances, their ability to scale casting calls, totally usurping the sort of the traditional model of casting director and agent working together and being called on by a producer, right? Like these are just open casting calls to anyone who happens to be on the site. That's so different, and it also feels so egalitarian, and they take advantage of that ability to scale to make these shorts. Now, so go back, listen to that if you want to know the skinny on that or want to be involved in it. Early on in the process, I would say about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, I was asked, "Do I want to produce these verticals? Do I want to be in the bucket of people who want to throw their hat in the ring to do this in China?" And I just thought it all looked bad. I thought it was really not the kind of storytelling I was into, and I know that's going to sound like sour grapes. Now it's $8 billion. Oh, you were above it. That's not what I mean. I knew it was always going to make money. I knew it was going to do well. Even when Katzenberg was doing Quibi, I think that's who did Quibi. It wasn't that the idea was bad. It was that the way they executed it was the old Hollywood method of casting and production mixed with technology, and that's where it really failed, right? They tried to go hire top talent, get all the producers, all the best directors, DGA. You're still paying the same cost. You're still paying the union minimums for the writing and the directing and the cast. You're still paying SAG. You're like all the expenses were the same, except just the stuff was shorter. And now you've got this massive platform that needs to be managed on the tech side, massive server costs and massive marketing costs to make it work. Well, what people like Emma and others figured out is if we don't have to work inside, and Nick's talked about this a lot over the last couple of years, if you don't have to work inside the Hollywood system to make a piece of content, all of a sudden it's very affordable. If you can open up casting like Emma did and make it egalitarian and you usurp talent agents and the casting directors, suddenly you just saved yourself a ton of money. Casting directors are 50 grand, right? Sometimes, right? So or more. So that's the first thing. The second thing is just calling a little bit of bullshit on the $8 billion number. Okay. Right. And I'm on the record. Look, I don't like these things. I think they are clickbait. I do think they have a very short term sort of run to them where people will tire of them. There's been things like this on YouTube already that were very popular. And then basically people grow up and they grow out of it. But the $8 billion is the value of the market, meaning that's what investors have put into these things, not the net profit, not the EBITDA that they're getting from serving up these vertical films. So I just want people to understand that, pump the brakes on, this FOMO they may be having about producing vertical content. Anyway, Nick, that's a mouthful. There's a lot of information, but I just wanted to lay that out there. Nick, what do you think?
Yeah, I think again, go back and listen to the Emma Toner episode. It was awesome for a lot of different reasons, but we talked about it a little bit earlier than I guess Hollywood was talking about it, or it showed up on social, right?
Mhm.
So I think that yeah, the 8 billion number, whatever. Like, that's not the important thing. For me, it's like China, I think, started to
China.
advertise or talk more about it,
Mhm,
which now brought it into the conversation for Hollywood because Galatea and Inkit have been around for some time. They've
mhm,
been doing this stuff for a while. This isn't new. It's just that the social conversation is new because somebody brought in a number, right? Like you're saying, someone brought in a number, whether it's real or contrived, about
mhm.
$8 billion. And now everybody has to talk about it because it's $1 billion industry, apparently. And maybe it
Yep,
is because Galatea is making millions of dollars doing what they're doing in their own
yep,
way. Um, is this something for everyone to jump on and run with? No. I
no.
think if you want to understand how this works in a meaningful, productive way, again, listen to the episode. Go contact Emma Toner. Go see what Galatea is doing on their platform because it's not about vertical content. It's about taking stories that are meaningful to an audience that they're building on their platform and then converting existing stories that have proven their merit and then turning those into series. So you're just extending the experience that people have already loved, that they already appreciate, that they're
Yep,
already engaging with into a different medium. And you're using the medium of mobile, right? That's what it is. People want to say vertical, vertical, vertical. That's great. No, what they really mean is mobile
yep,
because that is where the viewing is going. And we can see that, right? People are watching more and more, they're listening more and more, they're engaging more and more on their mobile devices. So that's all this is
mhm.
it's saying take the platforms that we used to create content for and shift because people are shifting their viewing habits. So yeah, I think there's definitely a shift into this space, but we knew that already. Right? We knew people were going into mobile. So
100%.
this is just a natural progression into that space.
PB, you had something?
Well, the Wrap article does admit that the vast majority of that $8 billion figure is coming from China.
Right.
So
Yeah.
most of
Yeah.
that is there.
Yeah.
Money still to be made here, I suppose.
Yeah, 100%. And because it's what Nick said. And shame on all these mobile sites and on industry for not having extensions or APIs that allow people to buy movies in a click. Nick, we talked about this a decade ago, man. A decade ago. Can we get a place where I'm on Instagram? Can we get technology where I'm on Instagram? A movie is promoted to me. I click on it and I'm watching it the second I click. Or maybe I click and then I click again to confirm payment. My credit card's already on file, right? And they charge it $4.99 or $1.99 or $9.99 or whatever. And all of a sudden I'm watching that film. And because the tech is there to do it, like Netflix did it years ago, it was like called Netflix Party or something like that. They they didn't do it the right way, right? Like they put it on desktop. Well, kids aren't going to do that. Viewers aren't going to do that. If you take that same technology and put it in social media networks, where all of a sudden, once I click purchase, a notification goes out to all my followers that I'm watching this movie live. It's just a new version of live, right? Same notification you get that says, hey, Papa Bear is going live on Instagram. You want to join them? That same thing, PB, would be, hey, Chris is watching XYZ movie. Do you want to watch with him? And then you're watching it, and then you can comment with each other as it goes. And maybe you're just making fun of the movie the whole time. I don't know. But the point is, you're supporting the filmmaker and you're having fun with your friends in the medium you wanted to do it in. And let's not forget, they were dancing on the grave of Quibi, and they were industry in general was so happy that failed. I've never seen such a celebration. This isn't going to fail. It's going to keep going for a while. The quality, if it gets better, it'll have more longevity. If it stays really bad like it is, then it's going to be its own thing. It's going to be like Wattpad. It'll be off to the side, but it's going to be quietly making a fortune.